Good day, everybody. I'm Dr. Becky. We see a lot of new faces here, so I'm just going to briefly introduce myself because I know you probably don't care what I do. You want to learn more about the AO scan reports. For those who do not know me, I'm Dr. Becky Kimbley. I am a doctor of natural medicine, and I have been using the AO scan since September of 2020 when the mobile unit first came out. I have done a lot of education around the AO scan, understanding reports. I've done a lot of education for Solex, and most of you that know me have known that I also built a multi-accredited university where we teach bioenergetics, we teach holistic health, we teach animal naturopathy, laser therapy, emotional work, nervous system work, and the list goes on. So one of the things I wanted to do was kind of talk to you guys about the AO scan reports because every day I get people dropping in my inbox, my emails asking me, like, how do I interpret my reports? How do I understand what's going on? And I see it in the Solex group. People, are diving into individual markers, looking at things line item by line item, and literally just driving themselves crazy. And I'm just here to tell you that it's not that complicated. And I want to simplify things for you because so many people are just, they get lost, they get aggravated, they get frustrated, they want to give up. And I want you guys to know that there is a very simple way to do this. And this is what we teach in our bioenergetic practitioner certification program. Your AO scan reports are literally telling you what you need to do. You just have to know what to look for. So there is a very easy way that we navigate through the reports. So I want to kind of go over that. What does that process look like? Now, we only have a little less than an hour now because I farted around for 7 minutes, letting people in. But the way that we go through it in our full certification program, we start with inner voice first. Why? Because inner voice will calm down that nervous system. So I want you to think you go to a doctor's office. Maybe you're going to the cardiologist for the first time. You've waited 6 months for this appointment. You drove in traffic for an hour and a half to get to this practitioner. Your blood pressure's high. Your heart's racing. You're stressed out. How accurate do you think your blood pressure reading is going to be or heart rate when they take that in that doctor's office? So think of the same thing with your AO scan reports. You're not going to get accurate results if your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. This is why we like doing the inner voice reports first, because it kind of calms down that nervous system. It calms down the person so that the rest of the scans are going to look a little more accurate and not be so chaotic. So there's a lot of information that you can pull just from that AO scan report. So I know a lot of people are like, but I don't know what you know, Becky. I don't feel like going back to school. I don't understand how to connect the dots. So while I have created all of that education, I have literally roadmaps for if you see this, go look at this, go look at this, go do this. You really don't even need to do that because your AO scan reports are telling you. So I'm going to go over, I'm probably only going to get through inner voice, vitals, and body systems, but that's going to give you guys an idea of how easy this really is for everybody. And that is the whole idea behind using the AO scan is you don't have to be a practitioner to use it. It is for the everyday person. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me pull up the inner voice. Now, I already did these scans a couple days ago because I didn't want to waste time doing all the scanning. So this is my test subject. And what I'm going to start with, let me pull up this. This is the template that we use. So the first thing that we like to do is, again, work on that inner voice report. And you're going to see here when I look at the first report. So some of the things that I look at are the emotions up here. So we have repetitive thinking versus creative thinking. And I'm already starting to look at what emotions are coming up over here. I'm paying attention to trends, patterns, and themes. So we've got parasites, we've got viruses. I'm noticing here in vitals, we have selenium, we have B6, we have serum globulin. But this is where it gets really easy because you're going to look at the body system. So here we've got heart, we've got tendons and ligaments, we've got muscles, primarily of the neck, shoulders, and arms. So in step 1 here, inner voice, I'm looking for what are the repeated patterns? What are the repeating emotions? What body systems are flagged in all 4 of the reports? What are the top vitals that are showing? And then, of course, top infections or potential causes. So just in this first report alone, we see these markers. So now I'm going to look in the second report and what is coming up again. I'm taking note of sadness versus inner peace. I'm looking here in vitals. We now have zinc, vitamin A, hydrochloric acid. These are the emotions coming up. And again, I'm seeing viruses and parasites showing up again, just like here. Viruses, parasites. We see digestion, pancreas, liver. In the third report, we have low self-esteem versus self-accepting. We see these vitals, B5, intraluminal pressure, detox phase 2, feeling lost, spiritual balance, emotional inertia. Here again, parasites. And here again, liver. So liver was there, liver was here. Pancreas is also connected to the liver. We also have digestion, but then we also have large intestine down here. So collectively themed, we have stuff going on with the gut or the digestive system. Then we have unacknowledged versus self-validated. And again, we have the markers of TSH, T3 calcitonin, so thyroid. We have fear of failure showing up again. Fear of failure showed up here again. Okay. Emotional pain and emotional inertia. I think we're the other two. Emotional inertia. Emotional pain. So we're starting to see some trends and patterns. While we see the thyroid over here, we see thyroid hormone down here again. We also see, not in this report, but in body systems, you'll see this show up a couple times, the miasms of gonorrhea and psychosis. So just based on those 4 reports, okay, we looked at step 1, inner voice, top emotions, flagged body systems, vitals, and infections. So in that report, we have already seen the reoccurring emotions are fear of failure, okay, because that showed up in number 1, fear of failure, and I believe it was in the number 4, fear of failure. Okay, so fear is definitely an issue. Emotional pain came up twice, came up here, and I believe it came up in the first report, emotional pain. The other theme is anxiety, inertia, or feeling lost. So these are the emotional themes already that we know just based on this inner voice report. Now, if we go look at what some of these things mean, these emotions can reflect performance pressure, unmet internal expectations, and spiritual disconnection. Are you or the person you're working with noticing or experiencing any of them? If you take a step back and pan out what all this information means, this can signal that this person's nervous system is cycling between overdrive, fight or flight, and freeze and collapse. So is parasympathetic and sympathetic showing up on the scans? Now, if we look at the vital markers, we've seen a lot of things come up that actually reflect towards the thyroid. So we have selenium, that's a repeating pattern. Vitamin B6, zinc, vitamin A. All of these are repeating patterns in just this one view. Okay. We also have calcitonin, TSH, and T3. So definitely something going on with the thyroid. Is this person burned out? Do they have issues with overgiving or people pleasing? When we look at selenium, B6, zinc, and vitamin A, these are all crucial for neurotransmitters, the immune system, detox. And remember, liver came up, liver and pancreas, and the gut-brain axis. So we have large intestine is the gut, digestion is the gut, and I know I saw nervous system over here. So all of that is connected. So just in these two snapshots, we know what emotions are coming up. There's a lot of fear, there's emotional pain, there might be some performance issues, some unmet internal expectations, some spiritual disconnection. There might be some burnout because thyroid's coming up. There might also be some liver and gut issues, which could be fueling the thyroid stuff. So we do see that there is a lot of nutrient depletion. Now, body systems. I know we talked about liver. Liver comes up quite a bit in addition to the gut and the pancreas. But we also have muscles, tendons, and I believe connective tissue was the other one that came up. So we have tendons and ligaments up here, muscles of the neck, arms, and shoulder. So it looks to me like there's a lot of muscle tension, probably from stress, which can be activated by the nervous system. And then again down here, we even have the sacral muscles. And then we have the reproductive and the bladder. So body systems wise, when we go into the vital scan in part 2 or body systems in part 3, these are the areas that we're going to focus on. We're going to look at the muscles. We're going to look at the connective tissue. We're going to see what the gut and digestive system's doing and the endocrine system, as well as the nervous system, and then the bladder, kidneys, and reproductive. In part 2, when we do the vitals report, we are going to check out and see what is going on with these nutrients: selenium, B6, zinc, vitamin A. What's going on with the thyroid? Okay, those are the areas we're going to prioritize. So in step 1, like I just showed you, we do inner voice. You're going to identify the reoccurring patterns or themes in the emotions. What body systems do we need to focus on when we scan for vitals and then body systems module? What are the top vitals? Because this is going to be compared to step 4, and then the top infections. The top infections will help you track what you're going to create as far as a frequency playlist. So in step 2, we're going to go to the vitals report now, which I've already done. And I'm going to pull this up. So again, we're going to focus on these problem areas. Let me go down to my notes here, my cheat sheet. So vitals, we're looking at selenium, your Bs, vitamins, minerals. And actually, as I'm going through this scan, the scan actually looks pretty clean. Now, if you notice, there's a lot of thyroid stuff coming up here, but we also see the throat chakra. So again, is the thyroid issue really a thyroid issue, or is it more someone has suppressed emotions? Maybe they can't speak their truth. The energy is stagnant in the throat chakra.
Turn.
When we look at the digestive system here, remember that was actually coming up on the inner voice report From this view, it actually looks pretty good, and it probably optimized just from what we just did from the inner voice scan. Same thing with pancreas. Pancreas also showed up as a body system. From this view, it actually looks pretty good. So when we get into the minerals here, we can see zinc down here seems to be okay. Again, a lot of this could have optimized just from scanning and optimizing the inner voice. When we look at the B vitamins, I mean, we do have B5 showing up and B12, so that could be feeding into what we're seeing with the B vitamins. And vitamin A appeared to be okay in this view. So let's go down to bones and muscles, because that was a common theme in body systems. So from this view, in the vitals, it actually looks pretty good. In the endocrine system, we've been talking about the thyroid, and you can see here how the thyroid is flagged. So again, what's going on? Is there a structural problem? Maybe the person has a whiplash. Maybe it's energetic because the person is feeling suppressed. They can't voice their opinion. Or maybe there's just gut and liver stuff going on. And we have cortisol here, which can feed into, or I'm sorry, that's testosterone. So that could still be feeding into the hormone imbalance because of the thyroid and the liver. And then when we get down here to the thyroid, there are a couple markers showing up here in the thyroid. So there's definitely something going on with the thyroid. We just don't know what it is yet. And even from a bacteria standpoint, it looks pretty good. Same thing with heavy metals, mold. There are a few parasites. Usually I see way more with people, but I would say the viral load is pretty high. So this could be possibly what is affecting what we are seeing in the scans. Because remember, viruses were coming up. Viruses and parasites were coming up as a pattern in that inner voice. So now we're going to go into body systems. And I've already scanned. So I like to do body systems because body systems many times will mirror what you see on inner voice. So in this view, we did the musculoskeletal system because again, muscles and tendons were showing up in that inner voice report. So again, I'm looking for where am I seeing those trends and patterns? So we've got low self-esteem. That has come up in different forms. We have stress hormones. We know the person is stressed. We also have alcohol from either consumption or gut fermentation. So again, that goes back to, we know that there's something going on with the gut. We have physiological stress. So that is feeding into what we are seeing into the endocrine system with the liver and the pancreas. So again, you can start to see how we're seeing reoccurring trends and themes here. If you look at the vitamins here, you'll see collagen and vitamin C, as well as D3K2 and Solex Blue, show up multiple times in this report. Next, we have connective tissue, because again, this goes in line with muscles and tendons, so that's why we did the connective tissue. And we see vitamin C coming up. Vitamin C was a recommendation up here. We see B's coming up again. Here's vitamin D. Vitamin D was a recommendation up here. So this is what we mean when we talk about themes or trends and patterns. Remember the miasm, gonorrhea, and psychosis that came up in inner voice? We are seeing it again. Stress hormones appearing again. A thyroid hormone. We know that there's something going on with the thyroid. We've got collagen and vitamin C again. Solex blue. The blue might be being recommended because of the high virus and parasite load. When we get to the endocrine system, we've got all these viruses. We've got RSV, chickenpox, parainfluenza, parasympathetic nervous system. This is the nervous system. We've got HPV, more viruses. You guys can see all these viruses. And then we have the reoccurring theme of fear and spiritual balance. Those two were coming up in the inner voice report. Manage stress levels. That's a recurring theme. Adrenal and thyroid support. That's another reoccurring theme. And then Solex blue is showing up again. Now, when we look at the digestive system, because again, this was one of the systems that was a little wonky, gut, liver, and pancreas in the inner voice. So we've got small intestine meridian. Unworthiness, that's been a theme. Self-esteem conflict. And again, here's the D3K2 and Solex blue popping up again. If we look just at the nervous system, we see bones. We see sulfur and molybdenum. Those two have to do with the liver. Here is the miasm of gonorrhea showing up again. Tobacco, nicotine, and nightshade plants. That goes along with the gut stuff that we are seeing. And then again, Solex blue coming up. So if we look at what we have here, we've run inner voice is going to show us the top emotions, the top body systems, the top vitals concerns, and the top infections. When we run the vitals report in step 2, we're looking for those repeating trends and patterns. Are the same nutrients out of range? Are the same systems flagged, such as the liver, thyroid, adrenals? In this case, we also did the muscles and connective tissues. In body systems, which we are currently in, we are diving a little bit deeper into the systems that were problematic from the inner voice. So what do we have so far? We've got 3 big emotions. We've got fear, emotional pain, anxiety, inertia, and feeling lost. We've got some vital markers that kept repeating: selenium, thyroid markers, vitamin A, zinc, B6, calcitonin. We know what body systems are problematic. We've got muscles and tendons, the gut, liver, pancreas, bladder, reproductive and nervous system. This has all been revealed on our inner voice. So all of this information can be feeding into some type of stress, metabolism, muscle tension loop, and possibly some gut liver hormone congestion because of unresolved emotional toxicity. Some of the pathogens that kept showing up, we've seen a theme of parasites and viruses. This can be likely affecting the gut health, the emotions, and spiritual clarity. A lot of you who have taken a lot of my trainings or have heard me talk a lot about parasites, one of the big things that we teach is with parasites, number 1 is to make sure you have enough stomach acid. Why? Because you need stomach acid to be able to kill off any of the parasites that enter on the food that you're eating from your mouth. Now, let's say you're doing all of that, but you're still seeing lots of parasites show up on your scans. Well, then I always will say you need to look at your boundaries. Where are you leaking energy? Who is sucking the life out of you? Because that energy is what can be reflected on your AO scan reports. Because remember, we are just scanning energy in your biofield. So if you had an argument with somebody, maybe you were in the grocery store and you walked by somebody who was having an argument, Those things will affect your biofield, which can reveal themselves on your reports. So just right here, I put translation. These could be energetic parasites. These could be attachments. These could be looping beliefs of I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. All of this creates a low-grade inflammation. So what is the primary pattern that we have right now? We've got fear of failure. We have emotional pain. We have hormone and nervous system stuff going on. We've got muscular tension. There's gut stuff going on. There's some nutrient depletions. And then there's spiritual disconnection. So this is what we have gathered just from doing inner voice, vitals, and body systems. So even if you don't have, let's just say you only did inner voice, vitals, and body systems, and you don't even worry about the database, okay? You guys already know how you can create a frequency playlist. You can find frequencies for nervous system. You can look for frequencies for gut. We have a lot for digestive health. You can look for frequencies. We have virus DT for all the viruses. We have parasites. We have lots of different frequencies for parasites you can use. This is when you can go explore into Cephi and start utilizing the homeopathy search by symptoms. Maybe you don't know what gut stuff to put together, but you could look at, I think we have gut irritation. There's a gut one. I had just looked for it earlier. And it already has the pre-listed homeopathics that you could be running. So you can build your frequency playlist just based off of what we just went through. Look for nervous system frequencies. Look for Bach flowers or Australian flowers that affect the nervous system, the vagus. We've got, let's see, trying to parasite detox. I know we have definitely parasites, and then we have pinworms. I think roundworms, you can get really specific if you want. We've got Protozoa Travel Plus, I think is another one that you could utilize for parasites. Same thing with the muscles. Go in, we've got muscle, we have muscles, we have inflammation, we have bone frequencies, we have tendon frequencies. I say all this to say you don't need to know a lot because your AO scan report just gave you all the information that you need to make a playlist for yourself. Now, I'm not going to go into the database because that'll take me a whole other hour, but just doing inner voice, vitals, body systems, you already know kind of what's going on. So if you are someone who has the database, you can do comprehensive, go into the digestive system, go deeper, what's going on. You can go into the thyroid, go deeper, what's going on. Scan the liver, scan the pancreas, scan connective tissue, scan some of the muscles. I know muscles of the head, arms, and neck, I think, came up repetitively. Scan those systems again in comprehensive. Because each time you're doing a scan, you're going a little bit deeper into those body areas that you initially ran in your inner voice. If you have the database, then at the very end, you can open up the database. Now, when I hit the database is when I teach it in a different way because I use the principles of dynamic neuromuscular assessment, which is another class that I teach. DNA is a sophisticated form of nervous system response testing. We don't use yeses and nos because what we have found is there is hidden dysfunction and compensations under a yes. So we teach it differently. We use that same template to navigate through the protocol on where do I start with the database? There's so much coming up. So I just want to help you guys kind of get out of the weeds, simplify things, because everyone's making it super complicated and difficult, and it really doesn't have to be. I have seen so many people walk away from the AO scan because they're overwhelmed. They think they're dying. I get messages every day. Hey, this is coming up. I'm like, yeah, what else is coming up? How long's it been there? Are you dying? What symptoms do you have? They're like, well, it just came up once. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It is energy. Energy is going to ebb and flow. Much like, I'll give you an example. The day my dad died, I was so engrossed in trying to save him, and I couldn't. But what I noticed after, for probably 3 or 4 days, was every time I scanned myself, it was my dad's scans. I have scanned my dad so much, I've scanned my husband so much, I know what their reports look like. And it didn't dawn on me in the stress and the trauma of losing my dad unexpectedly that his reports were showing up in mine. It's energy. Energy is going to ebb and flow and change. When you're looking at your reports, just look at it as energy. You're scanning your energy field, your biofield. Did you have an argument with someone? Were you in an airport? Were you in the grocery store? All those things are going to affect your This is why it's good practice to clear and shield yourself before you're doing any scans. When I worked in a clinic, I would clear and shield myself, then I would clear and then scan my client, and then shield them before they walked out the door. Those of you who are massage therapists, you know what I'm talking about. I used to do massage before I even got into this world. And you know, the energy would keep bleeding through all the massage appointments. And by the end of the day, your shoulder's starting to hurt because you just saw 3 shoulder people come in. You're taking that energy from one person into the next, into the next, into the next, without clearing and shielding, without disconnecting, without grounding that energy. You're going to see the same things happen in your AO scan report. Okay. Does that kind of take out a little overwhelm for everybody? Make it less scary, less medical, less diagnostic? Does anyone have any questions about anything? I'm just kind of looking through the chat. Yes, inner voice does optimize you. Think about every scan that you do, you are scanning and optimizing yourself. This is why sometimes things that may be an issue initially may not be an issue at the end, because each time you scan, you're optimizing. Yes, Anne, you should clear yourself, scan yourself, and then shield yourself. And then if you're going to scan somebody else, make sure you clear them, scan them, and then shield them. You don't want to send them naked out the door, so to say. If you're going to do easy scan, you just do the exact same thing because you're scanning inner voice, vitals, and comprehensive. You're looking for themes. You're looking for patterns. You're looking for trends. You're going to drive yourself crazy if you just look for one line item. Okay. Anyone have any questions? You can listen to the inner voice, but I know Solex doesn't like when I say this, but we run inner voice all the time without using the voice. We've actually used it at night, running it on people with the volume down because the frequencies are still going. Don't overthink it. Okay. People comment all the time about, do I have to listen to the Cephis? No, you're still getting the frequency because it's all working by quantum entanglement. So if you have someone who's super like, I don't want to talk, it's okay. Just scan and optimize them with inner voice. Send them the report. They're still going to get the correcting frequencies. Okay. Same thing with easy scan. We do easy scans all the time and do not use the voice. It's still accurate. It's still going to work. There's a lot of people out there that hesitate giving their voice. They don't want to talk because they don't like what they sound like, which is why you need to do inner voice and you need to do mind sync because that's going to change. I know the very first time I did mind sync, I was like, oh my God, that's what I sound like. I didn't like the sound of my own voice. How confident can you be in your own body if you don't like your own voice? So I say all that to let you guys know, if you are at a point that you want to learn more, we do have an accredited university. That is why I do all of this. I got so burned out trying to help everybody early on in 2020. I basically dumped my brain into our university. This month is the year anniversary that we have been accredited. And again, we are trying to help people all over the world use the AO scan, understand the AO scan, not be afraid of the AO scan. And we've been training a lot of practitioners who want to step into, they know that they're here for something bigger. That's kind of where our school comes into play. Those of you on this call, you get 35% off our entry-level bioenergetic certification. Use code webinar, and that code is good until May 10th. So if you are someone who knows that they're built for more, you want to step in and be able to serve people in a living university, because that's what we are. We are offering 35% off just for you guys right now. You also, when you check out, have a one-time opportunity to get the laser certification specialist for $100 off. Now you get 2 certifications. Yes, the lasers are all built around the lasers that the AO scan has used, but there's also wellness protocols in there. We talk about meridians, we talk about terahertz. You'll know exactly where to use all the tools, where on the body. Anyone who signs up today only until midnight will also get a free course from me, the AO Essentials course. So you're basically getting almost $2,600 worth of stuff for about $1,400. We do have payment plans when you check out. If you would like, we do Afterpay and Klarna. So I just want to give you guys the opportunity to step into something bigger if that's what you want to do. Maybe you want to learn how to do what we are all doing and help people and serve people globally and nationwide. We have a lot of practitioners who literally left their I can't talk today, literally left their brick and mortars and now do what Dr. Tammy and I do. We have global practices. We work remotely from all over the world, wherever and whenever. Talk about freedom. We even teach you how to build your business, because part of that certification program, you get the AO 200 course, which is my resource, basically has all the protocols for all the common health conditions. You get the AO 300, so you'll understand how to understand your labs, which translates into the hormone panel and the chemistry panel we have. You also get AO 400, which is connecting the dots class that I did, which was done live. I think that was my first course I did in 2020. You get AO 600, which is the blueprint on how to navigate through the scans. And you get our business course, which that course alone is $1997. So you're getting all of that for about $1,400. And that special is only good until May 10th. The people on this call only get the free course when you sign up by tonight by midnight. And then it goes away. Anyone have any questions? Other than I'm glad you all came. I hope, even if you don't sign up for anything and you have no desire to want to even be a bioenergetic practitioner, which, by the way, you will get a certification, which also means you can become board certified and get liability insurance to be able to practice safely. But if you don't want to go down that road, you're still going to have all the knowledge just from understanding what to do with inner voice, vitals, and body systems. And you're still going to be able to help so many people. And it's going to give you, like, you're not going to be overwhelmed by, oh my God, where do I start? There's so many things. Go back and look at your trends and your patterns. That's what we're looking for. Okay. All right, any last questions before we end for today? I have a couple more minutes if anyone wants to ask anything. Okay. I don't see anything that I need to answer. All right, guys. Again, this special for the free course is only available to you on this call until midnight tonight. So once I see the order come through, I'll go in and just put the free course into your library. You don't have to message me. You don't have to email me. I'll know when you buy something, just how my university runs. And if not, I'm just glad you all came. And I hope you got a lot of information out of how to take the overwhelm out of your AO scan reports. I will have a recording available and I will get that uploaded either later tonight or tomorrow morning. And that will be open until May 10th. After May 10th, everything goes away. All right. So thank you for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you and all the wonderful things that people have said about all the stuff that Dr. Tammy and I are doing. And we just hope you have a wonderful afternoon and let us know if you need anything.